Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. Make sure my mics are working. Are we good, Chan? Good evening, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome to coverage of the penultimate race of the 2023 season with the exciting action on PTM Racing TV. It is the Pit Stall Racing Series. I'm Wesley Outland, your special guest announcer that'll be calling the action for the, of course, remainder of the season. 2 races left on the calendar, and we're at the world's greatest race course at the Indianapolis Motor Speedway as these drivers are getting ready to roll here. 1 point separates Blake Trawick and John Poole III moving into this, of course, event. And then moving in 5 points back is only Eric Blunt. Drivers have already qualified, and we're ready to give you the starting lineup as it is the big scoring tower on the left monitor. Tim Williams is the fast man. He'll be on the pole, 52.35 seconds around the racetrack. Of course, Daniel Holloway will be along on the outside in row number 1. The 56, Blake Trawick, the points leader, 1 point back to the driver, John Poole. He'll start third. And then we've got Robert Kahn in the number 88 machine. Took a spill in the Speedco entry during qualifying and practice. We'll keep an eye on seeing how he does here. Robert Warnes in the number 95 will be ready to go in his machine, starting in 5th. Gordon Larson Jr., the 00, right there alongside. Then it's Craig Learman and John Garrett making up row number 4. Row 5 will find Michael Taylor and Chris Moreland, top 10 starters. Then we move into row number 6, including Eric Blunt and Brandon Meyer. Robert Smith along with Lynn McNeese in the number 84. Mike Rideout and Ray Radford is the starting lineup of 16 drivers. Kind of a slack field tonight, if you will, with the Christmas and the holiday upon us. But those are the drivers ready to go here for the events at the world's greatest race course at the Indianapolis Motor Speedway. These drivers ready to go again. 80 laps the distance for this show around the 2.5 mile layout that is the Indianapolis Motor Speedway. You'll hear me mentioning the scenarios along the way, like the quad oval, of course, the short chute, and more. Hey, if you care, you must share. I believe in that. Chan Pottle is joining us on PTM Racing TV in the production booth, and share the broadcast on all of your social platforms, and I'm sure we'll greatly appreciate it. Let's pick up the field as they're somewhere on the racetrack getting ready to catch the pace car in tow around the speedway as they're working their well, here they come actually out of turn number 4. They're working off turn number 4. The pace car is getting ready to drop onto the pit lane, and we are getting ready to go racing here at the Indianapolis Motor Speedway. Less than 5 points separate the top 3. Here they come to the line, and we are ready to go racing. The lightning wraps green flag flies, and here we go. Watch them how they work their way down into turn number 1 and 2. 60 laps. I think I said 80 laps. My apologies. It's a 60-lap race here in this contest for the exciting Pit Stall Racing Series as they work the back straightaway. Right now, Tim Williams is the man that leads the way. You see the 98 to 12 having a battle amongst themselves. As they work their way off the corner, put them in the short chute. As I mentioned, number 4 through the short chute again, down to the start-finish line off that 4th turn. And you've got 1 lap in, 59 to go, and it's going to be Tim Williams to lead the opening lap of this race, but not for long. Here comes the battle for the lead into turn number 1. Daniel Holloway now trying to battle for that top spot as they work their way into the corner. Down the back stretch, and somehow we still stayed with the top 10, but we did see Daniel Holloway on the scoring tower being showed now as the new leader in the number 71 machine as they work their way down the back straightaway, slicing, dicing, here at the Indianapolis Motor Speedway. 60 laps the distance. You do the math on, of course, a 2.5 mile layout here at the Indianapolis Motor Speedway. And of course, with that being 60 laps times 2.5, 150 miles is the distance here for this race right now. As there you see the leaders. There you got back up with Daniel Holloway. He's out in front. Tim Williams in that number 2 spot right there. 2 truck links back down as they work their way back down into turn number 1 and 2 to the short chute here at the Indianapolis Motor Speedway. Williams smacks the concrete on the safer barrier, loses ground on the 21 by just a hair, and here comes now Williams, going to try to reel him back in as they work the back straightaway. Holloway, Williams, Kahn, Trawick, and Warren's right now your top 5. Let's pick up 4th place. Behind the top 4, there is a big gaggle of traffic in the 4th position. Blake Trawick, the points leader. He is mired with he's mired with trucks all around him. Trawick, Warren's, Larson, Garrett, Lerman, working off of turn 4. Look at this big gaggle of trucks now working behind the leaders in 4th place, as right now you see 1st and 2nd. And there you see this big gaggle of traffic that I was telling you about. There's Trawick. He's starting to pull away from him by just a hair, but Robert Warrens is right there reeling him into the butt kicker entry. Gordon Larson Jr. right there in tow, as well as they're all right now single file. But just a moment ago, there was a swarm of trucks right there in a pack with one another as they work their way down the back stretch here. Right now, Daniel Holloway is the man that leads the way here in the short going of the Pit Stall Racing Series. These trucks here at Indianapolis. This is the penultimate race of the season. The championship will be decided, of course, next Thursday night before the Christmas holiday, December 21st at the famous 1.5 miles. That is the Homestead Miami Speedway. For many years, the NASCAR finale contested their championships at that track. It'll be the place for the deciding the champion in this, of course, Pit Stall Racing Series. And you can check it out on PTM Racing TV. Daniel Holloway is the leader. And there you see now, behind 4th, Trawick getting company from Warrens, Larson, Lerman, Garrett. They work the back stretch now. Little slide move there by Gordon Larson Jr. Getting some help with Lerman behind him in tow. Now they're going to try to stick it 3 wide. He thought about it as they work into turn number 3. Now into the short chute of the racetrack. It's Holloway, it's Williams, it's Kahn. Top 3 right now. Trawick's trying to watch off this hornet's nest behind him. It's the now watching Warren and Larson, Lerman, Garrett, Taylor right there with one another as now they funnel back out single file, one behind the other in a nose-to-tail fashion conga line down into turn number 1. We're right now 6 laps of 60 here at the Indianapolis Motor Speedway for iRacing and on PTM Racing TV's coverage. Right now, everybody just kind of minding their P's and Q's. The biggest action we've seen so far was when Tim Williams slapped the outside safer barrier, trying to run down Daniel Holloway for the lead in turn number 1. Since then, with 54 laps to go, about to be 1/6 of the way through, it is right now no change with Holloway. There's Williams. Want to see if there might be some damage on the right rear of that Chevrolet number 45 as right now they work their way back down the front straightaway here at the world's greatest race course, virtually at the Indianapolis Motor Speedway. Flashing through the pagoda, across the yard of bricks, back down into turn number 1 and 2, and they open up a 2-3 second lead over Robert Kahn in the number 88 machine. Blake Trawick, by the way, who came into this event with a 1-point lead over John Poole the second, which, by the way, John Poole is absent. He is not here. Eric Blount, who was 3rd in the points, 5 back to the leader, Blake Trawick, is got an opportunity to make a run towards the championship driver. That is Trawick right now in 4th. Eric Blount on the racetrack is certainly now in the top 12. Gordon Larson Jr., who is, let me see, 72 points back, mathematically might be eliminated, not obviously in the hunt like in single-digit point drivers, no doubt, between Poole and Blount. But Larson right now having a good run. Then, of course, Eric Blunt, and he's in right now the number 5 spot, right behind the leader, Blake, or the points leader, Blake Trawick. Let me emphasize on that. He currently sits in that number 4 position. There's a 00, as I was mentioning, the, of course, exalted colors of Gordon Larson Jr. And there you see him right now, just kind of lying in the weeds, working patiently in the top 5. Robert Warren's right there behind him. And Craig Learman, John Garrett, Michael Taylor, Brandon Meyer. Right now, the top 10 as it stands here at the Indianapolis Motor Speedway. But right now, Daniel Holloway continuing to be the man that hits that mark, leads that way as you pick him up again down the front straightaway. Phenomenal job by Chantel Pottle, working on the production as our producer director along the way. And yes, I am solo calling the event. But with that being said, she's doing a good job giving us the sights and the video of what's going on the track with Holloway. There you see the leader. Williams is in that number 2 spot. Hey, kiss this. And that's exactly what he's trying to do to Williams and Kahn and others. Daniel Holloway, by the way, trying to look for that win here today at the Indianapolis Motor Speedway. But honestly, as I mentioned, still a very, very long way to go in this event. Is right now, they'll put another lap on the board when they come back to the start-finish line and pick it up. Holloway, Daniel Holloway. Ah, man, if my stats are correct, looking at what I'm looking in front of me, this is his inaugural start with the series. He's not even ran any of the races this year. Daniel Holloway leading the way right now in that number 21 machine, leading the charge in that Chevrolet. You got, yeah, I checked the entire roster of the 52 drivers, and he has never signed in any this year for any of the races, so he's making his debut. And what a debut at that, with a big, bold statement. You've got Tim Williams, who is 7th in the points. He's making his 12th start tonight. Of course, Tim Williams has 1 top 5, 5 top 10s, 92 points back to your points leader, Blake Trawick. And that's the man right there in that number 45 Chevrolet. Robert Kahn on the racetrack, of course, looking to see where he's at right now. 22nd in the points. And this is his 8th start this year. He's got 3 top 5s and 3 top 10s in the year. And he had a crazy crash at the CarQuest Speedco entry. Hit the wall during practice earlier this evening during the practice qualifying session. And looking to see Tony the Tiger looking good, looking great right now around the racetrack, with a throwback to the Kyle Busch days of whenever he drove with Hendrick Motorsports in that machine right there, looking good in the top 5. Blake Trawick, the points man, obviously. Looking at the man leading the points by 1 point over John Poole III. He's got 1 win this year, 6 top 5s and 8 top 10s. Blake Trawick was a winner back at Nashville in September. Boy, I think a lot of people wish it was September again, especially how cold it is in Canada. For our friends of the north, and of course down in the Carolinas where I'm in my broadcast studio, it is chilly and 28 degrees outside right now. 12 of 60 laps, that's the way it stands. Let's pick up Gordon Larson Jr. He's in the top 5. He's in the top 5 of the point standings, making his 11th start tonight with the driver, of course, of the 00, with no wins, 1 top 5, 6 top 10s. Consistency has put him in the opportunity to finish in the top 5 of the year for the championship. And of course, right now, ironically, in the number 5 position. There you see everyone else. There's that big plethora of traffic that we mentioned earlier when things started, and now about a dozen laps later, it's still that conga line in the front with the leaders, but right there behind the points leader, Trawick, it's Larson, it's Warrens, it's Garrett, it's Lerman and Taylor, and everybody is right there with a gaggle of each other, working their way down the front straightaway. Thanks for joining us, PTM Racing TV. Give us a like and a share, hit that subscribe button, and of course, check out all the great action, not only tonight with the excitement of the events that are going on with the Pit Stall Racing Series, but in addition to that, all the other great coverage that PTM Racing TV provides. Follow them on Facebook as well as YouTube. Daniel Holloway continuing to lead the way. Hey, something that we've got, especially around a fun, fast track like Indianapolis, is crank it up. Let's crank up the roar of the trucks as we're approaching lap 15 here at the world's greatest race course in Indianapolis. Hold that thought. Wait a minute, they're coming to pit road. We got pit stops actually happening. Boy, oh boy, I wasn't expecting them to come to the pit lane that fast, but they are. Pit stops are now being done as here comes the drivers giving up the lead spot. The 21 machine of Holloway onto the pit lane. So is Tim Williams to follow in tow. Then it's going to be Craig Lerman, Robert Smith, Ray Radford. These drivers all coming down the pit lane here. And they're going to be taking on 4 tires and obviously fuel. And they're going to go for the undercut on the other drivers, obviously. And now the man that's leading the points, Blake Trawick, is now going to be the guy that will be in the #1 spot on the racetrack. But you got those guys in the top 10 now, or at least the top 9. They're going to have to pit. They're going to have to pit now. Because right now, Daniel Holloway, Robert Kahn, and here comes that second cavalry now, led by Blake Trawick and Gordon Larson Jr. coming down now onto pit road. They will be taking on now 4 tires and fuel. Just a lap separates them from that first pack that pitted on lap number 13. Now as we work on lap 14 to 15, the other drivers are now coming down to pit lane for service. Michael Taylor now being showed as the new leader. Eric Blunt to the P2 spot. Then it's Mike Rideout sitting in that 3rd position, as currently that's the way they stand around the racetrack right now as these drivers are trying to get back assembled here around the speedway. We're working now lap number 15 of 60 laps. Do the math if you're keeping up with the distance around the racetrack. 15 times 2.5 miles. That is 37, almost 38 miles into this event for 160 miles here tonight at Indianapolis Motor Speedway. As here comes another group of drivers onto the pit lane. Here comes Taylor, Blount, Rideout, McNeese, and Moreland now pitting. 150 miles will be the distance here tonight at Indianapolis. And again, Michael Taylor is bringing everyone onto the pit lane. And in just a few moments, you're going to see it cycle back around to the drivers that were up in the front that right now Blake Trawick looks like he's got the upper hand on even the drivers that led earlier. And now you've got Daniel Holloway now climbing back into the top 10. He's in 5th, 6th now. And once these other drivers stay onto the pit lane and they swing back around the racetrack, Daniel Holloway is going to cycle back around as the leader again. He started the race coming down to the pit lane as the leader, and now he will work his way back around as the leader as they cycle back again to complete the first round of these pit stops. Lap number 16 of 60 here at the world's greatest race course, the racing capital of the world. That is the Indianapolis Motor Speedway, the penultimate race of the season tonight for the drivers that compete here every Thursday night on PTM Racing TV with the Pit Stall Racing Series. The trucks will wrap up the season next Thursday night. Homestead Miami Speedway, same time, same place, same network. Make sure you join us as we will crown the champion, and I'm looking forward to being with you on the call for the final races on the schedule for the year. Daniel Holloway is right now the man out in front of that number 71 or the 21 machine. Correction, Robert Kahn, Tim Williams right now, top 3. And there you see the game of cat and mouse going on now between the Hershey's Kisses car and the Pop-Tarts, of course, CarQuest entry as Robert Kahn looking in the short chute down to the inside. He's got a run on driver left. Here comes Holloway, gives him plenty of room as they work their way off the corner. Out of turn number 4, about to flash under the yard of bricks here at the start-finish line where the pagoda is on pit road. And right now, Holloway, half a truck length now on Kahn. They'll send it back into turn number 1. And right now, Holloway in that top spot, stays in position down to the outside. Here comes Robert Kahn back to the bottom again. He'll look to try to make a move and slither for that spot down to the inside. Sneaky peek on the leader, Holloway. Holloway will not be denied. He still holds on to that spot as they work their way down the back straightaway. They're going to be stride for stride, side by side, down that back stretch for the lead as they work into turn number 3. Off the short chute in the entrance now. Holloway up on the top, gives Kahn plenty of room. Kahn now to the inside. He'll make a move as they work through the short chute entrance exit now between 3 and 4. Back off the corner as they come to the line. We're about to be 1/3 of the way through. 20 laps next time by, completed of 60. Now they're on the racetrack. Now they're at full speed. Now let's crank it up at Indy. Chantel, is my mic muted? The roar, the thundering herd of the trucks around the world's greatest race course here at Indianapolis. 20 laps into it. Daniel Holloway continuing to lead the way. Robert Kahn in that number 2 position right now on the speedway. Tim Williams in 3rd. And that battle for cat and mouse continues for the top spot. Blake Trawick, the points leader, right now hanging back in the number 4 spot. Here comes a battle now for the lead that's been going on for a good bit since those last round of pit stops that started. Right now, plenty of room being given on the outside by Holloway. You're on board now with Holloway, Daniel Holloway, as he crosses under the start-finish line. Robert Kahn right there within a cat's whisker, though, trying so hard to get down to the inside. And you saw Holloway stay right there, and he's now in view. And there you see Holloway. Now he's in the wall. Robert Kahn is, as Holloway now gets a good opportunity to pull away. And we saw Robert Kahn hit the wall, about the shades of what we saw the 45 of Tim Williams do. Hey, interesting story about the man that's in the number 7 spot, if people didn't know. That is John T. Garrett, and John T. Garrett competes in the, of course, NASCAR Touring Series. Real life, that is the ARCA Menards Series. He competes for the National Course Championship of the Rookie of the Year. And there you see the driver right there in the Athens number 66 machine, currently in the number 7 spot on the racetrack. And of course, John T. Garrett right now having a good solid run and just trying to keep some type of racing fun going on with obviously the ARCA series not firing back up until about 60 days from now at the World Center of Racing at Daytona, whenever, of course, the season will fire up for the new year for the ARCA Menards Series. So pretty cool to see that man right there, John T. Garrett, joining us right now. The man out of course, East Texas. whenever he used to run the local dirt tracks, I believe, at 24 years old. John Garrett got a good career right now. And of course, joining us, the man out of Athens, Texas. Again, got some knowledge with getting experience not only in the real racing world, but obviously in iRacing as well. As here comes a driver peeling onto the pit lane. Brandon Meyer is getting ready to peel onto the track. We're 5 laps to halfway here in this event. 24 of 60 laps right now on the racetrack. And there is the battle going on again now between 5th and 6th spot, 7th spot. All these guys right now working their way up. Oh, there you go again. Look at the 45. That's Williams into the wall again. Tim Williams into the wall for the Rev Racing Chevrolet. That's the 2nd time tonight that Williams has smacked the concrete in the safer barrier. First time it was down the front straightaway trying to battle Daniel Holloway for the lead in the early going, and now this time on lap number 23, working lap 24, where he hit the wall on the exit of turn 2 and him and smacks the wall again as he works off turn number 4. Got to be thinking handling's gone away on that machine all the while. He still presses on, keeps on going here. PTM Racing TV on the air with the penultimate race. If you don't know what penultimate means, it means it's the next to last race of the year tonight, with, of course, the excitement going on with the Pit Stall Racing Series trucks. I'm Wesley Outland, veteran broadcaster of 30 years. I've done everything from NASCAR to MAV TV to Fox Sports Radio and more. Besides racing, football, basketball, and of course right now doing a phenomenal job is that driver, Robert Warnes now. Warnes is the new leader in the number 95. There you see him for pink. You can drive pink besides in October for Breast Cancer Awareness Month, and that's exactly what he's doing right now in that pink number 95. Robert Warnes continues to lead the way. And of course, good solid drive for him on the racetrack. Let's pick up a little bit more information on the driver. That is Robert Warnes. He is making only his 2nd start tonight in the season. Of course, 1 top 5 and 1 top 10. And right now he is looking for his first win of the, oh, correction, he actually won a race. So in his first start of the year, Robert Warnes actually won an event. And I want to go back and look at our statistics here on the season that was. And Robert Warnes is the most recent winner, as he won last Thursday night at North Wilkesboro Speedway. He was the man at the end of 120 laps at North Wilkesboro Speedway. So there you go. I was trying to not only get his 2nd win, but 2 in a row, and his 2nd start with the series here tonight at Indianapolis in Homestead Miami Speedway. Next Thursday night, we'll crown the champion and close the season. Chantel Pottle, our producer-director with PTM Racing TV, was telling me that the plan is for the Pit Stall Racing Series is to kind of take a break, a little hiatus, obviously, for the Christmas holiday season, New Year of 2024. And then they'll probably fire up right around February, mid-February is what their plan is. They'll take a month off, and then they'll strategize, work on scheduling, work on their new plans, and obviously come back. And right now, look at this inside coming at you for 2nd spot. Holloway up on the outside near the safer barrier. Here comes Robert Kahn down to the inside. Pop-Tart time, battling the Candyman off into turn number 1. And here comes the 88, giving each other plenty of room right there. A little wiggle for just a moment as Holloway about drifted in front of the 88 of Kahn. Kahn lost that momentum. He'll fall back to that spot. Holloway will move back to the number 2 spot again when they come to the line in the 21 machine. Beautiful looking Chevrolet truck for Holloway. The same for Robert Kahn right now as those drivers on the racetrack battling for 2nd and 3rd. And while that goes on, Robert Warnes, winner in North Wilkesboro last week, as we're approaching halfway, is already pulling from the cavalry as we're about to close in on the halfway mark of this event. quick race running here. No yellow flags so far in this event since the green linen fell in the penultimate race for the Pit Stop Challenge, or the Pit Stop Racing Series here with the trucks in Indianapolis. And there you see the driver leading the way comfortably, Robert Warrens, that Chevrolet butt kicker entry. Looks like the 45, Tim Williams, might have just made an exit off of the pit lane, or he might just be losing ground from everybody because his truck might be badly damaged, waiting for a caution flag. As remember, he's hit the wall 2 or 3 times here in the first half of this race right now, as these drivers currently work their way around the racetrack. By the way, thanks to Pit Stall, thanks to Lightning Wraps, all of the folks there. You see the ticker that is scrolling on the bottom right with the sponsors. Thanks to 40 Worth Printing and Lightning Wraps sponsoring, of course, our coverage on PTM Racing TV. SimRacingApps.com providing the timing and scoring. And here comes these drivers ready to come down to the pit lane again. Michael Taylor up in front, but Robert Williams, John Garrett, Gordon Larson, all these guys just making the pit lane exit. Here comes more. There's the man from the ARCA series right now, John Garrett, the Athens, Texas driver, working onto the pit lane. He'll get ready for his pit stop. Gordon Larson Jr. is on pit road. Here comes now the man that led the most majority after the first round of pit stops, here for the second time in the green. The 95 back on track. Robert Warrens will exit, and now he'll enter on the pits. Back on the racetrack now, Michael Taylor, the new leader, in the lead right now. So all of this going on as the second round of green flag pit stops is upon us. And right now we are approaching also the halfway mark of this event. By the way, if you're keeping count, that is 75 miles down, 75 miles to go. 150 miles here tonight in the events at the Indianapolis Motor Speedway on PTM Racing TV. Don't forget to follow, of course, PTM Racing TV. They're on YouTube. Hit that subscribe button. And, of course, we're also available on Facebook. And I'm understanding that there might be a server code or stream code error with the broadcast as far as trying to broadcast on the Facebook. But obviously, I know that's something that they'll certainly be working on to try to get it fixed at least before the next race if possible. And right now, as it stands currently, it is Michael Taylor, the man that's out in front. Now he's pitting. Blount's pitting. We're ready to see timing and scoring update again as all these drivers are now coming onto the pit lane, getting service done, getting work done. Chat box is kind of quiet tonight. If you're tuned in, at least just say hello and at least let us know where you're tuning in from. As I always love enjoying with the interaction of the audience. If you have any questions, comments, concerns, things that you'd like to have answered, just please put them in the chat box. And again, I always enjoy being interactive with my iRacing audiences. Right now, the man that is leading the point standings by 1 point is now back out of the P1 spot again, just after halfway. Blake Trawick is back to the lead. And there you see him right there, comfortably in that spot. He's only got 1 win in the year, as I mentioned, for the man that's leading the point standings. It's been consistency. By 1 point between him and John Poole III. John Poole III not here tonight. Eric Blount would be the man that's second in the points. He's now in the top 10. Gordon Larson Jr., who's fourth in the points, is right there in 8th position. Brandon Meyer, who is fifth in the point standings. Brandon Meyer is out of this race. He is out on the 16th position, so he is not going to be able to finish, and that's going to be a tough day for him in the top 5 of the points, especially moving into the championship race tonight at Homestead next week here tonight after Indianapolis is what I meant to say. As right now, Blake Trawick, there you see him, the man right there that leads the way. Trawick, of course, won back on week 3 of the year in the truck race at the Nashville Super Speedway at the end of a century grind. And right now trying to survive 150 miles, 60 laps as he's halfway home. There you see that machine right now leading the way. Blake Trawick, Robert Kahn, Robert Warnes. Then you got Daniel Holloway. And quick statistic, the drivers that are in the top 4 in some shape or form have at least led or attempted to lead the first 34 laps of this race right now coming up. 33 laps actually completed. And right now a battle for the lead again is right there. You see the battle for, I believe, 3rd spot on the racetrack as Holloway and Warnes are going at it. There you see Robert Warnes getting passed by Daniel Holloway as the ticker will update at the start-finish line. I know right now it's showing Warnes up in front, but when they cross the start line back at the Yard of Bricks, then the timing and scoring ticker, or the ticker on the tower pylon, will update with the position of where they are. But right now I can tell you Robert Warnes has got around Daniel Holloway, and it is now being made official as the scoring ticker at the time of loop was updated. There you see Tim Williams, who was at one point way in the back. He now pitted, and he is back in the top 5 on the racetrack. Gotta think that there might be one more round of pit stops unless we get a caution, and I'm thinking that will probably be around lap number 45 to 48. My prediction, between lap 45 to 48. Thinking of the numbers of the way they've ran the first half of the race, and of course when they had to pit. So between lap 40 to 48 is what I'm going to estimate when we're going to see these guys come down to the pit lane again. 45 to 48, I'm sorry. And right now, Trawick is the man leading the way. Obviously, the man looking to lock up a championship, looking to lock up his 2nd win of the year. There you see Williams on the track. He's 7th in the points. 11th races completed, making race 12 start tonight. 1 top 5. 5 top 10s for the man right there in that Chevrolet number 45 for Rev Racing. He got up at the safer barrier earlier a couple of times, but now he's making a valiant effort for the Rev Esports team to, of course, try to have a solid finish in that Chevrolet. Right now sitting in the number 4 spot. Robert Warnes in the top 5. And again, Blake Trawick, Robert Kahn, Daniel Holloway, Tim Williams, Robert Warnes, John Garrett, Craig Lerman, Michael Taylor, Gordon Larson, Eric Blunt right now, the top 10. That's the way they stand here just after, of course, closing in to the finish of this event. Right now, 25 to go as we are closing in on this finish. Blake Trawick in the lead. Robert Kahn in 2nd, and right now the interval between them are right there close with one another as you're seeing a glimpse at the 43 machine. Craig Lerman under attack by Michael Taylor. Taylor down to the inside of the Bass Pro Shops entry right now of Lerman as they work their way back around the racetrack for another lap of the board. And again, solid runs being made here. No yellow flags, by the way, so far. Clean and green in this race. Not trying to jinx anything, but obviously we have been clean and green with no problems on the racetrack, with now 35 laps completed. That's 87 miles in the books of 150. So this race flying by rather quickly. When they come to 20 laps to go, which will be, of course, 40 completed, there will be 100 miles already in the books. And right now, Robert Kahn is the new man that leads the way as he just got around Blake Trawick, the points man. Do you race smartly and think about the bigger picture? Think about the run to a championship? Or do you try to look for a big win here? Obviously, the bow tie and the oval battle. That's Chevrolet and Ford between 1 and 2, Kahn and Trawick. And right now, of course, the laps continuing to tick down here as we're approaching 100 miles. And of course, 20 laps to go will be that final 50-mile stretch of this event. 2/3 of the way will be through. 22 laps to go now. Back into turn number 1 and 2. Robert Kahn continuing to be the man that leads. He got a little wiggle there for just a moment as they work their way off the short chute into turn number 1 and 2. Down the back straightaway now. He'll climb up to the safer barrier to the back straightaway. Treywick now, can he try to reel him back in again? Kahn still holding on to that spot as they work their way into turn number 3. There's the distance between one another as they now close into the third turn here at the world's greatest virtual race course in Indianapolis. Here comes Treywick now, trying to reel him back in, trying to throw out the anchor, get the leader on the hook of Kahn and reel him back in for that spot, looking for the second win on the series. And furthermore, most of all, champion when it's all said and done. This time by 21 laps to go, 20 next time by. 100 miles will be completed, and we're ready to settle ourselves in for the home stretch of this event here tonight at the world's greatest race course in Indianapolis. And of course, next to last race of the season for the Pit Stall Racing Series of 2023. Robert Kahn right now just patiently working his way around the racetrack. And one thing, by the way, I mentioned sometime between lap 45 to 48, I think the pit window will open up again. If you're doing the math, that's with 15 to 12 laps to go. I think we'll see these drivers come back onto the pit lane, and some might be going for the undercut, like Blake Treywick. He's doing that right now. Here comes the Ford, the points leader, the man that led most of this race in the second half, now onto the pit lane. Undercut possibly amongst everybody else to put himself in contention. By the way, Blake Treywick did it earlier in the race, and he was the man to come up in the top spot. So right now, here you go, between lap 40 to 45, as I mentioned, that's that window. They're coming to pit lane, and we're seeing them also making their way around the racetrack as Robert Kahn currently in that top spot, leading the way. What a drive for the CarQuest Pop-Tarts. Kellogg's number 88 machine, and in case you didn't know, that's a throwback to Hendrick Motorsports driver Kyle Busch when he was driving that machine back in the early 2000s in the NASCAR Nextel Cup Series for, of course, the greatest, of course, racing team in the sport ever, Hendrick Motorsports. And there you see the 88 working his way around the speedway. Robert Kahn holding on to the top spot. Holloway now in second. That game's about to become another cat and mouse battle as here comes finally Tim Williams working off the pit lane exit. Craig Lerman pitted. These drivers slowly but surely coming to the pits and exiting, ready to go to the finish of this event. There you see Holloway. That's right now the 45 back on pit road, as I mentioned. Tim Williams, the Rev Esports Entry Chevrolet, all the way at pit stall number 1, ready for the final pit stop of the race. As we approach the final 50 miles of this event now. 150 miles, of course. 60 laps the distance here tonight, by the way, in post-race on PTM Racing TV. We'll grab the top 3 podium. Set the stage for Indianapolis here tonight to Homestead next Thursday night. And right now, Michael Taylor is leading, but here comes now Robert Kahn giving up the lead, coming onto the pit lane. Money stop time for the number 88 Chevrolet. He's ready to make his pit stop. So is Daniel Holloway, the Hershey's Kisses entry. They're both coming to pit lane. They're both ready to go for the finish after they get their pit stop done. We're looking at Blake Treywick now, working back around the racetrack. There you see the 56 machine. Right now he's being showed in the 11th spot, but obviously the more and more he passes all these trucks, he'll start climbing up the scoring pylon when the scoring loop updates, and you'll see the 56 making a run for the win here, possibly. He went for the undercut on Kahn, Holloway, Larson, Warnes, and more. We'll see if he can carry this momentum all the way to the finish now. Flag to flag so far in what's been a rather calm race here at the world's greatest race course in Indianapolis. 17 laps to go here at Indy. And of course, I think a lot of people are begging for a caution flag if they're behind the leader, Michael Taylor, praying that there isn't a yellow flag, that they can be able to continue with the momentum and obviously carry all that to the finish of the race. They're approaching again another lap being done on the racetrack here. Michael Taylor, John Garrett now to the number 2 spot. And here comes now another driver entering the pit lane. That's John T. Garrett, as well as, of course, Michael Taylor, Gordon Larson Jr., all these drivers working onto pit road for their final pit stop here for the Pit Stall Racing Series. Of course, strategy at its finest to try to finish this thing up here and be there at the end. Michael Taylor giving up the lead. We'll see slowly but surely Blake Trawick continue to climb the scoring pylon. When they come back around the line, it'll be 15 laps to go here at the world's greatest race course, the racing capital of the world, the virtual simulation of the Indianapolis Motor Speedway. What a great racetrack, man. I've been there in real life. I've been able to check out the Indianapolis 500 and, of course, being down on pit road with IndyCar Radio, experiencing, of course, with my friend Mark Janes and Michael Young and Paul Small, and just some of the friends that I've had the privilege to know over the my 3 decades in broadcasting, and be down there at Indianapolis on qualifying is absolutely electric. I've said this before, qualifying for the Snowball Derby in Pensacola and, of course, the Indianapolis 500-mile race on bump day is probably the most intense in motorsports I've ever experienced. And, of course, it is so awesome to see the depiction on iRacing, the simulation of what the Indianapolis Motor Speedway looks like in real life, and how the perfect blueprint image that iRacing does to try to make this place look footmarked exactly the same as right now. You see Robert Kahn getting around another machine there for that spot. That's Trawick. Robert Kahn might be the man to put himself in the catbird seat to possibly win here as we approach now 14 laps to go. 25 miles remain here at the Indianapolis Motor Speedway when they come to 10 remaining. And right now, with 14 laps remaining, it is, of course, now Robert Kahn, fast man, getting around Blake Trawick for the top spot. The 88 might be the man to get it done tonight, the Pied Piper of Indy for this series. For the Pit Stall Racing Series in Indy, Robert Kahn perfectly doing a great job climbing back through the field. Making a valiant effort here back around the speedway here as they'll come to the line. It will be 13 laps to go. Count it, 13 to go, people. And here comes Trawick. Man, I guess he undercut too early. He's got to come back down to the pit lane again. I was not expecting this. Wow. And right now, again, pit stops being made by the man that, of course, is making a run towards the championship. Here you see some other drivers. Daniel Holloway coming into pit. I don't know. They might have to they might have had to pit again. They might not have filled the tanks up. Possibly they might have thought that there might be a late race caution, and they had to give up the spot. Robert Kahn, though, I'm telling you, looking good. He's in the lead. There you see now Robert Kahn giving up the lead here. He's having to pit again. I have to get the gist on this here. I'm wondering if they only have like maybe a 50% fuel cell capacity. I really didn't get a chance to go over like the 411 is like, you know, if they get a fast repair or if they, you know, get how many sets of tires they get in the pits, or obviously if the fuel capacity's not at 100%, maybe it's at 50%, so this is making them pit more, because this is actually going to be, I believe, I don't know, Chantel, if we have a pit counter on the scoring ticker. I'm thinking it's now the third and fourth time we've seen people pit. Right now, Robert Kahn exiting off the pit lane, as right now we approach the final 25 miles here in the race at Indianapolis. 125 miles will be completed, and Robert Kahn is the man that leads the way. Michael Taylor, Craig Lerman, and Robert Kahn back up to third quickly. As right now, everybody just kind of minding their P's and Q's, working patiently around the racetrack. Craig Lerman now being showed the new leader, but for how long will these guys have to come down to the pit lane and go for the finish of this event? It'll be 50 laps completed when they come to the line this time by. It'll be 10 laps to go, 25 miles remaining for a 150-mile contest here tonight for the penultimate race of the season in the Pit Stall Racing Series. The trucks at the world's greatest race course here at the virtual Indianapolis Motor Speedway. There's the leader, the Bass Pro Chevrolet. Michael Lerman flashes under the yard of bricks. 10 laps to go remaining as he sells into turn number 1. And there you see that number 43 looking good, looking strong, stays hugged to the bottom of the white line. Up to the top of the safer barrier now through the short chute as they work their way off the corner, down to the bottom of the apron into turn number 2. Off of that short chute exit, down back stretch. And he is comfortably in the lead by almost 4 seconds on Michael Taylor. Remember, don't forget to join us for post-race as Chantel and myself will grab the drivers on the podium, beginning as soon as the checker flag falls here in this race tonight. And remember, the finale for the season, Homestead, Miami, next Thursday night, same time, same network, right here on PTM Racing TV. Hit that subscribe button on YouTube. If you care, you must share the broadcast. Hope you've enjoyed it. It's not easy being a solo broadcaster. I'm telling you this as somebody that does this for a career. But obviously, we're making the best of it, finishing this thing out. And we'll see how the things show up for the finale at Homestead next Thursday night. But right now, Michael Taylor is the man that leads the way. Craig Lerman of the number 2 spot. There you see the driver, Robert Kahn, after Moreland, as we see now more pit stop activity is going on. Craig Lerman going onto the pit lane. Michael Taylor is the leader. For how long, though? John Garrett now the number 3 spot. Eric Blount having a good run. Much better than Blake Trawick, actually, because Blake came into this race with a 1-point lead over the driver, of course, that was not even here tonight, of John Poole III. Eric Blount was 5 points back to Trawick. He right now sits in the top 5 and 4th. Trawick is mired back in 10th as we're single digits now here on the scoring ticker, crossing the line. 8 laps to go. Everybody just working their way back around the racetrack, hitting their marks, patiently working back into the turn. Off the short chute, down the back stretch. Comfortably in their spots, doing well right now. As this race coming to an end. Michael Taylor, almost a 4-second lead over John Garrett. John Garrett, the man that I mentioned from the ARCA series. He's right now in that number 2 spot. Eric Blount sitting in 3rd. There's the leader. There's the man we were talking about, Michael Taylor. 7 laps to go in his own world right now, leading here. PTM Racing TV coverage from Indianapolis right now. Of course, Michael Taylor hitting his marks comfortably in the number 1 spot. Eric Blunt in second. He's trying to reel back in Taylor. The interval of lap ago was about 4 seconds. He's cut it to 2.5 seconds now. Wonder if Taylor might be conserving, saving fuel, dropping back. Is now the leader as Blunt is starting to reel back in. 2 seconds now, quickly 2 seconds as Taylor now. There you see the man in second. Behind Blunt is John Garrett. Then it's McNeese, followed by Robert Warnes. There's your top 5. And those drivers right there nestled with one another. You see them, they say fan back out into turn number 1 and 2. There's the Viagra colors of the number 6 machine of Eric Blunt. Eric Blunt right now, patiently waiting to see what happens with Michael Taylor. Michael Taylor now starting to increase the interval now between the leader, Taylor and Blunt, for the top spot. There you see it starting to shrink, but then it grows. As 1 minute, it is over 2 seconds, then it's less than 2 seconds as Eric Blunt gets really better transition through the short chute. Better on the straightaways for the man in front of Michael Taylor. Off of turn number 4, getting ready to cross under the yard of bricks. And it'll be an open hand from their flagman as well. 140 miles completed. It's now down to 10 miles remaining in this event. Ready to finish this one out here at Indianapolis when they come back to the line. 4 laps to go, 10 miles of 150 miles distance race tonight that has been flag to flag, caution free. No problems whatsoever here at this race tonight at Indy. Michael Taylor patiently working around the racetrack right now, hitting his marks. Eric Blunt in the number 2 spot. Lynn McNeese, now the man in third on the podium, about a 1.30 second interval to Taylor. Here comes Taylor now. He has opened up the interval now, 2.5 seconds on Eric Blunt. 10 miles remain officially, 4 laps to go at Indy. There you see now Lane McNeese getting around Eric Blunt for the number 2 spot. So Lane McNeese is trying to put himself in the battle to try to make something happen. Lynn McNeese making race 12 of the season tonight. He's got no wins, no top 5s, but 4 top 10s. This would be his first podium top 3 and top 5 of the year if he can pull it off here. He's in second. And he is closing in on the leader. Let's pick up the battle for the lead, guys. It's Taylor and McNeese. There you see the interval. Losing ground is Taylor. McNeese has ran down Taylor. Michael Taylor looking for his first win of the year. Michael Taylor with also 1 top 10 on the year. Never a win in the series this season. He's trying to pull the upset. Less than 8 miles to go here at the world's greatest race course in Indy. Coming to the line next time around, it'll be 2 to go. The penultimate race for the penultimate lap, and 5 miles left at Indy. As right now, Taylor is in the lead for how long? Lynn McNeese is stalking him like a dark cat in an alley. Down into the back straightaway, working into turn number 3 into the short chute, inside of the racetrack. Here comes now McNeese. Here comes McNeese. He'll throw the block. Taylor will. Taylor stays to the outside. They're mirror driving one another as they work into the corner. Off the short chute, off of turn number 4. Here they come to the line. 2 to go in Indy. It's been caution flag all night long, but we could be setting ourselves up for the transition of a wild finish here on the penultimate lap in the penultimate race here at Indy. Down to the inside. McNeese has got the run on Taylor. Taylor gives him plenty of room. They have about almost make contact in the short chute. He's up in the safer barrier. He's getting loose as they work off the turn. He's not going to battle down. He's going to stay right there in the door. Right to the back straightaway. Taylor battles alongside, and McNeese has no choice but to close back in. He had a shot. And of course, Taylor battled all the way down into turn number 3, ready to pull the trigger again to the inside. Here comes McNeese down to the bottom. He'll sneak and slither and steal that spot away from Taylor, like taking a kid from a candy on Halloween. Down into turn number 3 and 4. Here comes Taylor, the Western Auto Darrell Waltrip throwback colors coming to the line. This is it. They're coming to the flag. White flag in the air. 1 more lap to go here at Indy. Michael Taylor, can he do it? Crossing the line of bricks, the yard of bricks, final time around, as now Shade greets the drivers into the short chute of the racetrack into turn number 1 and 2 for the final time. It's going to be Taylor. A little wiggle and a jiggle and a giggle and a bobble from Taylor. He lost ground on McNeese. McNeese is back in the top spot. They're both looking for their first win on the season for the Pit Stall Racing Series. Moving into the championship finale at Homestead. Right now, Blake Trawick might hold on to the points lead with the top 5. Down the back straightaway, they go into turn number 3. Into the short chute. Opened up the momentum. He is pulling away. He is losing ground. Taylor losing ground to McNeese. Lynn McNeese working off of turn number 4. Work is off the turn. He's had no top 5s this year. He's had no wins also this year. But now that is history. Checkered flag. Lynn McNeese winner here tonight at Indy. Lynn McNeese will pick up the win. It'll be his first win for the season. It will be his first top 5, first top 3 podium, and 5th top 10 finish in his career this season in the Pit Stall Racing Series of 2023. Lynn McNeese getting the victory. Robert Warrens will finish in the number 2 spot. Eric Blunt will somehow settle back to finish 3rd. Blake Trawick and Robert Kahn are right now the top 5. And there you see the man that might be the proverbial champion and the points leader moving into the finale at Homestead. Blake Trawick giving the nod, giving the bump. There's Holloway giving the congratulatory shot to the tailgate by the number 84 of Lynn McNeese, and he might actually be out of fuel. Lynn McNeese might have pushed it all the way to the battle of running out of gas. He might have ran out of fuel, and he made that strategy work to put himself in victory lane. Man, oh man, what a job for Lynn McNeese, a man that honestly, mathematically, don't even look at this man at winning a championship, but obviously what he did tonight to get that first win of the season, to join the fraternity of winners on the Pit Stall Racing Series, and now the teammates or the friends, the partners working with one another. Holloway giving the push to the number 84 of Lynn McNeese to at least let him get back around the racetrack and at least stop at the start-finish line. And there you see it. Lynn McNeese, winner tonight at the Indianapolis Motor Speedway, a caution flag race here this evening at Indy. Let's take a look at the results. If we can, Chantel, please, if you will, put it up on the screen, or basically, I guess we could just look at the little scoring ticker. I guess we can do that as well. So, well, it looks like they've kind of updated it, so I don't know what's going on here. Lynn McNeese is going to be the winner. Robert Warrens Jr. is second. Eric Blunt third. All this is unofficial. Blake Trawick, I believe, is going to have a nice, comfortable spot going to the championship in 4th. Robert Kahn will finish in the top 5. There you see Daniel Holloway celebrating with McNeese. He'll finish in 6th. Tim Williams 7th. Chris Moreland 8th. ARCA driver John Garrett will finish in 9th, and Craig Learman right now the top 10. Rest of the drivers, including Rideout, Larson, Taylor, Smith, Radford, and Meyer. And this race had no caution flags. Coming up, we'll grab the podium. We are looking forward to talking to Lynn McNeese. Don't go anywhere. PTM Racing TV from Indianapolis, our coverage of the Pit Stall Racing Series as a caution-free truck race lands another first-time winner this season. Lynn McNeese wins at Indianapolis. Welcome back to the world's greatest race course at Indianapolis. And obviously, as I mentioned, a caution-free event here for the penultimate race of the season for the Pit Stall Racing Series. Their finale will be decided next Thursday night for the Christmas holiday break at Homestead, Miami. I'm Wesley Outland. Chantel Pottle did a phenomenal job for the PTM Racing TV production. And I'll tell you what, Lynn McNeese joins us. Lynn, I think the strategy was to race to the end. You ran out of fuel to even celebrate, but at the end, you pick up the victory, and it's your first win on the series, your first podium, your first top five, and of course, your fifth top 10. What's going through the mind of the driver of McNeese right now? Congratulations.
Still kind of a little bit surprised about that. I had a fuel mileage in mind, but I didn't know if it would work, and surprised that it actually pulled it off and worked at the end there.
I'll tell you what, I'm new to this series, but it seemed like there's a lot of camaraderie and respect, and a lot of people appreciate you and respect you for that matter. There was a lot of bumps and hits on the tailgate and driver door slaps and everything. Congratulating you. What does that mean to you on the series to win this thing tonight?
Oh, it means the world. I mean, it means a lot. These guys are hard to race with over here, and to win over here has been very difficult this season. Like you said, at least to get a top five. So to win one of these before the season is over, that just makes my day.
What was the strategy? Obviously, there was a lot of heavy contenders. Was you ever praying for a yellow flag, or was it just kind of the way you thought this race was going to play out?
No, I wasn't wanting a yellow flag to come out. I was, but easing the throttle all the way around the whole race, just saving fuel everywhere I could, trying to get it to where I could have just enough at the end to do what it did. But I figured me slowing down and saving fuel that the lead cars would have caught up at the end and passed me. But it was worth the gamble.
Um, as far as in your iRacing career, would you say that this is probably the biggest win of your career, bud?
This is one of them. I would count this in the first time I've won here at Indy with these guys. So I'd say this is one of the bigger ones that I've won.
Well, man, congratulations to you. Before we let you go, thank your sponsors. Anybody you want to thank? If you got any people tuned into the broadcast, looks like people were chatting and congratulating you in the chat box as well.
Oh, well, I want to thank all of them that was, the fans just putting it on, and y'all putting it on a good show up here in the booth. And definitely want to thank Tim Lee for putting the series together and keeping it all running for us, and everybody here over here at Pit Stall Racing.
Lynn McNeese will pick up the win here at the world's greatest race course in Indianapolis. He will celebrate with the family. Of course, heading into the Christmas break, what a sharp drive for the man here to celebrate being the winner here tonight at Indianapolis. Let's grab the driver, Robert Warrens, who finished in the number 2 spot if he's available. Robert Warrens in that machine as we're trying to grab him for post-race interviews. I don't think I see him right now. Chantel, help me. I don't think he's available. So Robert not available to talk for second. So we will wrap it out and finish on the podium and grab a man that's a name that I've hauled some iRacing events at in years past. Almost half a decade ago, it seems like, man. Eric Blunt, always great catching up with you, bud. Really good, solid drive of that Viagra truck, and you'll finish in the top 3 podium. Your take of a caution-free race tonight at Indy.
Oh yeah, great drive by everybody involved. I mean, Indy's a tough track, got to focus. It was few mileage going on. It was tire wear going on. It was everything going on.
Well, I'll tell you what, you really, really did good. You stayed out there on the racetrack. Obviously, everything's changed in strategy with these multiple pit stops, and green flag pit stops really absolutely changed the entire spectrum of the finish of the race, doesn't it?
Oh yeah, it does. You have to do it like a road course, run the race backwards, and man, that's what me and my team did. And Gordon suffered a little bit. He had to save more, than he wanted to at the end, so he lost a couple of spots. But we were able to stay on strategy, pit when we needed to pit, save enough fuel, make it to the end, and it worked out.
Man, I got a question for you, Eric. What's next week going to be like? Obviously, at Homestead, Miami, you got guys that are hungry, looking for wins, looking for championships, maybe some scores to settle, vendettas in the virtual world. What type of shenanigans do you think we'll see to close out the season?
It's going to be a tough one there. As the tires wear, guys are going to migrate up toward that wall. That's going to be where I guess most of the speed's going to be at the end of runs, mid run. So it's going to take a lot of guys having patience. Like you said, last race of the season, so anything can happen. But hopefully we get another one like this, flag to flag, and to finish the season on a good note.
Well, Eric, it was good to catch up with you again. Small world, it seems. And before I let you go, man. Thank your sponsors.
Yeah, I want to thank Viagra, Valvoline, my team hardline, teammate Gordon, Brandon fell out early. Uh, thank my wifey for letting me come out and do this, and you guys up in the booth for all you do for us, man. And Pit Stall as a whole, I mean, it's a great group here, a great group.
There you go. There was the thoughts of Eric Blunt, again, finishing in the number 3 spot here on the podium tonight at the world's greatest race course at Indianapolis when it is all said and done. So, there you go. Flag to flag. No problems here tonight as far as any visit from the Banana Republic flag. And if you don't know what color that is, it's yellow. It was all green flag. It was all green flag pit stops. It was all strategy. It was strategic to try to hold on, not run out of fuel, save your tires. And of course, when it's all said and done, Lynn McNeese, excited, the veteran man finally breaking through into victory lane with the Pit Stall Racing Series. Follow the Pit Stall Racing Series. Join their group privately on Facebook. And, of course, check out PTM Racing TV on YouTube and Facebook as well. Thank you for the comments. Great race. Awesome broadcast. Has to be one of the best PTM Racing TV broadcasts ever. Well, when you're by yourself on commentary, it's definitely a lot of work, but we made the best of it. I want to say thanks to, of course, Chantel Pottle for the, of course, olive branch invite to join everybody here in the booth. And I'll be back with you again next Thursday night to close out the finale for the Pit Stall Racing Series trucks at the virtual iRacing Homestead Miami Speedway. And for producer director Chantel Pottle, all the drivers, everybody tuning in, all you fans out there, congratulations once again to Lynn McNeese. I'm Wesley Outland. Merry Christmas, Happy New Year, and thanks for joining us on PTM Racing TV. Good night from the world's greatest race course, Indianapolis. Thanks for checking us out. Everybody happy, it looks like? The who? Yeah. Well, I see that a lot of people are mad and aggravated with flights being delayed. Oh yeah, yeah. There's people that were delayed from the dome, couldn't race at the dome because their flights were delayed.